Okay, here's 3 red flags about any company that calls themselves matchmaking, all right? Be on the lookout for these red flags. Hang on. 1, they are a company where they do not show you pictures of the person you're going to go out with. Huge red flag. Never hire a company that does not show you pictures, all right? Hang on. Number 2, they take on men and women as the actual matchmaking clients, all right? That's a huge red flag as well. There's a fee to get in my database for women, but that covers me getting on a Zoom and doing a proper interview. That covers my time, gives you a free full profile in the database. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about matching companies that are charging the thousands and thousands of dollars to you, both men and women, and they're not even picky who they're taking on as the actual client. They'll take anybody's money if it's green. All right, hang on. I'll give you one more. Number 3, you want to ask your matchmaker what their background is, what their skill level is. And they may bullshit you a little, but there's ways to know. Did they just take a class? Have they just been at their job for a year or 2, Or, I don't know. It's interesting because I know a lot of the women who are working for these matchmaking companies, and they were a Starbucks a barista, or they were in sales at Shiseido, or they were working for Yelp for a number of years. So, these people are calling themselves matchmakers, but if it feels like a sales job and a heavy sales job, and they can't explain how they make their matches, there's something that feels vague. If anybody you're talking to about being your matchmaker feels vague or like they're playing games, red flag, red flag, red flag. And I'm going to save the worst story for last. Hang on, wait to hear this. Oh my God, in this one woman's case, and this is probably the worst story I've ever heard. This one woman, I think she's a divorced or widowed, but she was very wealthy. So, the company knows that. They sniffed that out. And she was an older woman. She thought she was signing up for actual matchmaking. They got a photo shoot for her. The photos were actually pretty good. But then all they did, her matchmaker, keep in mind, most of these people are absolutely not matchmakers. They're salespeople, but they're not matchmakers. Her matchmaker, all she did was create a Match.com profile for her. And we're talking like $30,000 this woman paid, bless her heart, okay? Makes me furious. And I know the woman's name. The company is in Texas or Florida, but I have it written down, so if you want it, let me know. So anyway, she paid him $30,000. They did a photo shoot, and then her matchmaker set her up with a Match.com profile, her matchmaker started writing to people on Match on her behalf, doing all these things. And then she'd queue up the guy and then hand it over to the woman and say, okay, now you got to get on a call with this guy. And that was matchmaking. And then the woman said, after a while of this, which was just a dead end, the woman was like, I thought I paid for matchmaking. And the owner of the company said, oh, no. And the owner of the company wasn't the woman who was her matchmaker, right? Okay. And the owner of the company said, no, matchmaking would be another $30,000. So another 60, so another 30, which would be 60 for this woman. And she said, then that would be personal matchmaking. So they tricked this poor woman, and it was just egregious and terrible. So be smart, be careful, because I've helped plenty of women get their money back from other matchmakers, because it doesn't work the same way when women try to hire matchmakers. It works for men when men hire matchmakers if they're hiring an actual matchmaker. But it does not work the same way for women. So women, be careful. I mean, a few $100s to get into the database and then get on a Zoom with the owner of the company who gives you feedback. Yeah, that's one thing. That's what I do. But thousands of dollars to be a client for women does not make sense. It works for men if they pick the right company, but always ask the right questions and be smart. Okay. I hope it helps.